Hey,
Oh,
welcome,
man.
travelers. If you're new here, my name is Brenna. I am your Note-Taker's Apprentice DM, and welcome to Tales from the Catacombs. This is our tabletop RPG adventure that we are thrilled to share with you. This game uses the Dungeons&Dragons 5th edition system and rules, and the setting is a homebrew based on the rock album Razia's Shadow by Forgive Durden. We are revamping a brief introduction to the setting that you will be able to read at your leisure, and I hope you will, so you can be as immersed in the world as our players are. And before we get too lost in our adventure, please be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a little comment below to help the algorithms answering the following question. Who would you count on to help you in a pinch?
Beau.
Beau? Honestly, I'm not mad about that answer. Can I change mine? I didn't
Depends on
say
the
mine
pinch.
yet.
Yeah, what's the
It
pitch?
might. It
Is
might
it
be
like we need
very
someone to pinch
specific.
the pennies? Do we need someone to
Yeah,
come
it
back
might be
from the
very
dead? Do we need cheering up?
I'm dead, and no evidence. But while you ponder that, without further ado, please enjoy this session of Razia's Shadow, a 1,000-year interlude. Let's recap. Session 33, Arrested Development. Before the entire pike could get out of hand, Ste'yn calmed the angry patrons and gave the novices a chance to talk their way out of too serious a punishment. Instead, they were escorted by the Peace Watch to a holding cell and left to wait. Surprisingly, Emil, one of the barmaids from the Wild Pike, approached them to beg them to escape before Rosita could hurt them. She admitted that all of Rosita's barmaids and bar lads were ferals in disguise, who were devoted to her for protecting them. Emil snuck them the cell key and then ran. The novices escaped the Peace District with help from Captain Nora. She took them back to her home, where they laid out everything they learned. The conversation was interrupted by Nina, escorted by Canyon, who claimed to offer a peaceful conclusion to the whole mess. Beau took the opportunity to trap Nina in Nora's house that is warded against ferals. Nina dropped any ruse of misunderstanding and told the novices that she was just sent to tell them that Rosita would be more than happy to meet with them again and answer their questions. She also told them that Rosita had 5 others outside of Grati-Minot to spread her goddess's influence, including in the city of Cadence, or what was once the city of Cadence. Meanwhile, Beau earned Canyon's trust to keep the show-stopping performer and Canyon's almost fiancé, Veuve, far from the Wild Pike, and to leave Nina to them. When he and Canyon rejoined the group, they found the house surrounded by unknown but very eager someones knocking on the front and back doors and hopeful to get inside. So, you guys have reconvened in Nora's living room. Nina, I believe, is still on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Nora had previously, after hearing all of Nina's words, had stormed upstairs looking rather put off. And then there was an unruly amount of knocking on both the front and the back doors. So what are you guys doing in this scenario?
Well, is Nora reacting to the fact that people are at the doors? Because it is her house.
It is her house, this is true. You don't see her immediately, but yeah, as this kind of incessant knocking continues for a few more seconds, you do see her at the top of the stairs. She doesn't have the same kind of upset look of that almost rage from before. This is a confusion. She comes down the curve in the steps, looks over the railing, seems hesitant to answer the door as well.
You want me to get it?
I don't know.
We
I
don't
want
have to
anyone
get it.
to.
We can just ignore it.
Ignore it and hope it'll go away. It's fine.
Is there a window we can peek out to see who's there?
Is there a window? I have an idea. So I feel like there might be one on the sides of the house, but I don't remember if there was one in the front by any of the doors.
Yes, there are windows indeed. There are 2 along the front wall There are none along the sides, and then there is 1, 2, 3 along the back. Here, let's actually do this. You can see from where, just from within the house, you can see a shadow of someone directly at the back door. You can also see, it's a little harder to see, the windows aren't nearly as close to the front door. The back door, you can definitely see a shadow of someone there.
And that's where the hut is?
Yep.
Oh,
Right. So
that's really good to know. And you can see Nora kind of peeking over. It's a little too high, I think.
Is there an actual
see
fire
from
in
where she
this
is.
chimney?
There isn't currently.
Okay, but it is like an actual fireplace that like it goes up the spout, whatever you would call it.
Yes,
Like,
it's
because
not just-
that
it's not just
follows
filling the
OSHA
room.
standards of
Okay.
medieval design.
Beau is
So you
gonna
don't have a house
send
full of
Claude
smoke.
up the fire thing,
Okay.
up the chimney, and then he's gonna peer through Claude's eyes to get an idea of what these people are.
Viola
So-
is gonna move next to the front door and just have both swords ready to go just in case.
Okay, Viola's by the door.
Yeah, and Beau's just sitting on these stairs.
Josh Ste'yn's just sitting there next to Snow, trying to gauge the situation. Taking some slow, deep breaths to try and get herself back together. Because it's been an intense time of conversation.
He places a hand on your arm. He didn't say anything, but
All
She
right.
gives a grateful look.
And Nina's just sitting on the couch, observing the
herself,
entire
yeah.
scene. She's alone on the couch. I'll put her on this side of the couch. Say that Ste'yn was maybe sitting across from her or something. Certainly not next to her, but probably across from her.
Probably across from her.
So,
Maybe even next to her, like over here, for maximum leaning over and intimidation.
approved. So, Beau, you send Claude out. Through him, you go up this dusty chimney that probably needs some attention. God forbid it sets a fire. And as he comes up over the top of the house and gets this wider view, you see a large number of Peace Watch outside of the back door. None of them appear to be meandering. All of them seem to be at attention. They're not
boy.
moving forward, but appear to be waiting for direction. There's one man standing by the door. He's the one you can see knocking. By this point, he's got the butt of his weapon that he's now
The hilt.
hitting against the hilt, thanks, of the weapon that he's hitting against the door. Now speaking,
And is that in the back or the front? Sorry.
this is the back.
Okay.
On the front, you see fewer Peace Watch, but you do see a decent number of them. Probably overall 2, 3 kind of clumps of like 6 in the back, and then 2 of these little squadrons of 6 in the front. Inside, you guys can hear finally one of them speaking. Open up! We're not going to wait much longer.
And Beau's gonna have Claude come back and then put him away. What did Viola say or do?
Viola looks back at Nora to be like, what do you want us to do?
She, having heard the command, she seems to take a moment to compose herself, and she goes down the steps. Well, she goes around you, Beau.
Well, Beau's
as you're
gonna.
not
Beau's
paying
gonna.
attention
Beau,
just
wait.
yet.
Oh, well.
As Claude is coming back, so by the time Claude is like whenever you
Well, I
know,
mean, he could
switch
stop
back.
it without Claude having to be back. He would just, once he got it, he would stop that connection, but then have Claude fly back to put him away. So he could do
Okay.
that within.
So you just be aware of Nora's now starting to step past you
What are you
to
doing?
go towards the door.
Like, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm supposed to be here, so I'm going to see what they want. Maybe you don't want to be in view immediately.
you could get in the hut.
Mm.
I don't know what else to do. It seems if we at least cooperate, maybe they won't be
Viola.
aggressive.
Viola, do something about her. He points at Nina. Like, maybe take her upstairs. She can't just scream or whatever.
Okay.
Muzzle
Viola's
her
gonna
if you have to. Just keep her
Are
quiet.
you saying this out loud?
Yes. He's saying it like at a lower tone than what that guy is.
Muzzle her if you have to. Guys, I'm right here.
Viola's gonna go over to Nina and ask her if Nina would accompany her upstairs. Otherwise, it won't be as fun for her.
That sounds awfully like a threat. Aren't they just here to have a conversation?
We're not gonna be around for that conversation. So are you gonna go with me, or am I gonna take you upstairs?
I don't like these
Okay.
options.
Viola puts her hand over her mouth and starts to throw her upstairs. Too slow.
Give me a
A shouting.
strength. That's athletics is strength, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the die I
That
want to use.
is
I want to use
a
this die.
26.
Oh my gosh, I just thought about how awkward it's gonna be if Viola's memories come back when she's in the room with Nina upstairs.
It's fine.
Have we
Yeah.
met Nina outside of
it.
this?
Snow has.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I don't even think Viola, if she comes to,
You've
is gonna
seen
know who
her.
this woman
Well,
is.
you saw her on the stage when we were talking about the jobs for the week.
Mm-hmm.
So she was
Oh,
up there.
yes.
So you
Yes.
at least have knowledge. As much as you were paying attention, you would have knowledge of her.
Okay.
She's not stronger than you, Viola, as you put your hand around her mouth. She doesn't try and scream, but she is kind of trying to, like, struggle a bit, and it's entirely useless as she's essentially has to go along with you or she'll be dragged, which she'd rather not. Are you going upstairs?
Yes, we're heading upstairs. We'll go into the study. If
Beau-
Viola knows where that's at, I don't even think she's... No, she's been upstairs before.
She's been upstairs.
We're all in Nora's bedroom. We're all in
Yep.
the study as well, so she's gonna go upstairs to the study.
Beau's gonna go on into the kitchen side on this wall.
Nora's made her way down and towards the door while you guys were having this conversation. She looks very unsettled at Viola, half dragging Nina up the stairs.
Don't forget about the rope we have.
Viola does have her own set of rope that's not in the bag of holding, so when she gets upstairs, she might hold that out and be like, do I need to use this?
I only came here for a peaceful mission. I see you guys are...
Well, I think she's still muffled right now.
Yeah, she can't talk.
We don't have time for your attitude, Nina.
Just tie her up.
Forget it, just tie her up. Just do it. It's fine.
Make the
Already in
papoose.
trouble.
And as you guys are getting where you're going to be, you can also hear again the Peace Watch captain or his higher ranked. You can hear him saying, "Captain, if everything is okay, please open the door." Nora makes sure everyone is wherever they're planning to be. She approaches the door. She opens it, kind of half peeks her head out, or opens the door ajar. Not all the way. Those are the words I wanted to use. Everything's fine. Why the big celebration of sorts? The man is looking at her. Those in the hut, you can see he's kind of looking at her, maybe slightly past her, getting what bit of observation he can. Would you mind if we entered, Captain? We were told there was a disturbance. We are actually looking out for, you might be able to help us, a couple of your novices. Ste'yn, you can tell Nora immediately is very stiff. She's not nearly as charismatic as you are to hold her cool.
It's okay.
But she doesn't open the door further immediately. She just nods to let them go on. He doesn't. May we come in? Tensely opens the door the rest of the way. And 6 Peace Watch enter. They step forward. They kind of spread out in a bit of an organized line in front of her. It's all very put together. And they explain there's been word going about that there was a disturbance earlier involving one Beau up at the Wild Pike. They had sent out someone to speak, to find him. He was with a number of accomplices, including one Ste'yn, a Snow, and a Viola. further word has gotten around that the others have, in fact, caused some disturbances themselves. The flashy, golden armored, I believe that one is Viola. She had caused a scene also at the Pike. I'm not sure what your novices have against the folks in the Pike, but had assaulted one of the patrons alongside Beau. That Beau appears to be quite the troublemaker. Surprised that he's still here, honestly, Captain. Nora just has her hands behind her back at this point, and you both can see that she's just clenching her wrists.
So Beau's gonna turn around and he's gonna come through here, and he has now blue hair, I believe is Elikin's hair color. And or whatever his hair color. Beau saw him, I didn't.
I still want you to come up with Elikin is solid.
I don't know why.
Blue hair.
This entire time I pictured him in blue hair. Like my entire life of knowing this guy's voice, I pictured blue hair.
Oh, I can't wait to hear what he sounds like.
Well, I mean, we have heard him talk, and it was basically your voice. So I just need him to do a slightly bassier,
a more pompous Brenna's voice. Yeah, that's what every dude sounds
like.
Yeah,
Beau and Elikin had a great conversation.
Dear, what's all this? He's also, as he walks that direction, he's gonna use prestidigitation to create a effective, like, the smell of food wafting behind him like he was cooking something.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I'm gonna turn that from a disadvantage to just a normal roll for Nora, not you.
Oh, okay.
This is for an NPC. Because I need to know. Oh, lovely. That's fine. She turns the moment you speak, and her eyes bug out when she sees you walk in. It's only for a moment before she quiets down and tries to follow along. She seems to have gotten what you have done.
What's going on in here?
There's Peace Watch who had some questions about some of my novices.
And this needs to be done now at your house, our house, and not in your office when you're back.
It appears to be.
All right, who's in charge here? Come on, you were banging out our door. Be quick about it.
They are looking at you. They see your appearance, and the man up front, the captain of this group, raises his hand. Captain Elikin Asalin, I presume, not had the pleasure.
You presume correctly. So what is it you're doing here? And why couldn't this wait?
Well, it appears, sir, that a number of Captain Nora's novices are causing trouble. We came to ask her where they might be. We didn't want to interrupt the festival, but sometimes things
You didn't want to
have
interrupt the
take
festival,
precedence.
but you didn't feel bothered interrupting someone in their house?
Sir, there are matters that have to be attended to.
Perhaps, but not by her. She has help with these matters. Go find one of them, and they can help you out. In the meantime, you can leave our house.
Give me a deception check. You may do it with advantage.
I love it when Beau pretends to be people.
All right.
Oh, granny boy.
With advantage, geez, I almost had a crit success. I got a 19, so that makes it a 28 or higher if you want me to roll psionic.
No, you don't need to. That's fine. The captain looks at you, looks back at the captain. Sir, I do apologize for the gruffness. That was our overexcitement. However, you also understand that there are some things that do go beyond even your jurisdiction.
I understand that there are things above me, but I also understand that there's a protocol for that. Do you have anything to indicate that you need to be invading my house?
Sir, it's not an invasion. We were welcomed inside.
There are multiple people that just came in here hurriedly after banging on our door from both sides. And why the back door, not the front door? Is that protocol as well?
When there is the potential for miscreants who could be considered dangerous, we need to make sure all exits and entrances are covered. Yes, this
Well,
could be
as you can
considered
see,
protocol.
there is no miscreants here. It is myself and my wife who are about to have a meal. So you can see yourself out now.
There's not so much a flush on his face, but there is definitely a note of feeling put upon. It's almost embarrassment. It's not quite embarrassment. It's more he's come up against a wall of his own authority. And he begrudgingly nods to you, sir. And if it is important to you, I wish to respect both sides of the city's protocol. And we'll have to speak to our authorities. But you, sir, and I say this with utmost respect to you and Captain Nora, and Sir Admiral Haste, that you should be very mindful of the lines that you toe, sir.
Thanks for your
And
concern. Have a good day. Enjoy the festival.
He lifts his hand and gives a little motion of it. His Peace Watch, all very in unison, very in sync, turn and file out of the house. He looks about briefly for a moment before he also turns and leaves. Nora almost too quickly closes the door behind them, and she looks at you, Beau. Please. lose
Yes,
this
my
disguise.
sweetheart.
Is Viola able to hear that they've left and stuff? Were they speaking loudly enough that she would?
You definitely heard the door close. She almost slammed it.
Viola will start to make her way back downstairs with Nina. She did not tie her up. She's just holding her and still has a hand over her mouth.
Dag nab. And you hear Nina say something with your hand over her mouth. Something. It's not like she's shouting for help or anything. She just kind of says something almost to herself, just briefly.
Be patient.
She's not struggling. Nora's just shaking her head at you, Beau, and then she stops looking at you.
Beau just does a big stretch.
So we're good?
Yes.
Okay, Viola will let go of Nina's mouth, but still will keep a hand on her arm just in case. Just like, what do we want to do with this one? I'm not too keen on like holding hostages or anything, but I also understand that we can't just like let her go right now, so.
Well, then the option is either keep her hostage or kill her.
Well, definitely don't want to kill her right this second, even though I'm not pleased with her or what she stands for. I don't
Well
think
then,
anything can
hostage
happen
it is.
And how is that going to help us with our other problems?
Not sure, but it's
Wow.
not gonna hinder us.
I mean, I definitely don't think we can let her go right now. If we want to tie her up and leave her here while we go, like, someone will find her eventually. They're going to come looking for her, but we just can't let her go into the city right now when the Peace Watch was just banging down the door looking for us. Also, I don't know what they're talking about. I did nothing wrong. What
I was
patrons
curious
am
what
I?
they were going to say about the disturbances Snow and I had caused. That would have been interesting to hear.
I think that they're
Everyone
just
loves me over
making
there. I
things
don't know
up
what
at
he's
this
talking
point.
about.
Exactly. What lie were they going to come up with?
Alright, well,
Okay,
what's the
what are we
plan? I
doing
only
now?
have about, 55 minutes left of this little disguise.
Could you drop it sooner?
Well, we might still
Well,
need her
why would I
later.
want to do that, my dear?
Beau,
Don't
at least
ever
cut
say that
it.
again. So what are you going to do? And she looks over out the window and then looks back at you guys, but she stays by the wall by the door.
I don't think we can
Nina's
stay
just there.
at the moment. Definitely not like you're here in Nora's house, and I honestly don't even know about here as in Grazie Mano. I feel like our best lead is Bull Swamp at the moment, or maybe Cadence to go and see what happened there.
Maybe. I don't know how wise it is to talk about these plans.
Well-
right, someone who could give them to someone else.
That's true. Viola, why don't you whack her on the head real quick?
Does Viola know how to whack people on the head and knock them out? Oh yeah, she did it to the goblins.
Yeah. She just doesn't need to do a lethal attack, and all she has to do is hit them.
Okay. Viola's gonna look at her and apologize and then whack her and knock her out.
Viola, you look at her and suddenly realize you're staring down Nina Serenby in Captain Nora Isalin's home at the top of her stairs with your fist raised and an apology on your lips. And you have no idea why you're standing there right now when you were just in a prison cell, weren't you?
Viola lets go of Nina and just kind of like puts her hands on her hips and starts looking around. How'd we get here from the prison? Did we teleport or something? Is that a thing we can do? Nina, why are you here?
Oh dear.
Oh,
Why am I
no.
up the stairs after you manhandled me?
I put you up here?
She stares at you for a moment, and then you see this little smile on her lips. That is fascinating.
What's fascinating? Is someone gonna tell me how we got here?
All right, what you're doing right now is knocking out Nina.
Why?
For no reason, he's insane.
We'll fill you in later.
Well, I'm not gonna believe you over him, but I would like to know why.
You
before
were
I
just
get there.
going along with it. We'll fill you in.
Random acts of violence? Viola,
Do you
Nina,
want
should
me
I
to be
knock
the
her
one
out
to
or
do it,
no?
Nina? And he'll summon a knife to his hand.
Viola,
do
from
it.
what I've
put
seen,
herself between Beau and Nina, but she is waiting to hear.
Oh,
a
wait, actually, it's
response from
Alekin in front of you, not even Beau.
oh my and
So rude.
there goes my session again.
Nina, just be
Yeah.
quick about it. I mean, Viola, just be quick about it.
I'm sorry, Captain Alekin, but you're not my direct captain, so I'm not gonna take orders from you.
Alekin doesn't sound like this, Viola.
It's
I don't know
Beau.
what's happening.
And he has
Stan!
more respect than Beau does.
Well, that's questionable.
And Captain Nora, what do you want me to do?
There's no need to hurt her.
Honestly, we might be able to just let her go. Because what's she going to do? Send the Peace Watch back here?
The Peace Watch? Why would the Peace Watch come here?
Oh, because you and Beau assaulted somebody at the pike.
I assaulted someone? Who?
You don't remember?
Did
There was so
say.
much blood.
Did I kill someone at the pike?
No, he's
Not just
he's pulling one
someone,
on
but
you. We're
to
trying
someone.
To make... It's been a...
Insight check on that.
Listen. Ste'yn's going to come out of the hut and go over to
Oh, yeah,
Viola
that's
at
right. She
this
was just
point.
talking to
Just Ste'yn's voice coming out of nowhere.
Ste'yn will put a hand on each of Nina and Viola's shoulders and look at Viola. But I promise we'll fill you in. What you need to know is that Nina has quite enlightened us as to some happenings in Ratimino and to a particular family or city of Cadence and what might have happened to it. And please stop stroking my hand. That's just weird. I don't
It's so
really like
soft.
unprompted physical touch.
What happened to Cadence?
Nina
Doesn't exist
killed
anymore.
everyone.
No,
I
Nina
did
didn't.
no such thing.
I'm not defending Nina. I'm defending the truth of the story that she said. That way we can keep our facts straight.
Confused.
So
You did
here,
a great
Ste'yn's
job, everyone.
going to take Nina from Viola's hold and guide her the rest of the way downstairs.
Viola just sits down on the steps.
Has a panic attack.
All right, but we
Listen.
still don't want to be discussing our plans with her.
No, so I think we let her go, and she can leave knowing fully that if we hadn't chosen to be merciful, she wouldn't be leaving here at all.
I think it's too early to let her go.
We need to figure out what we're going to do, and we don't want to talk about it in front of her. Though, Nina.
Was she raising her hand?
No,
She
no.
was.
No, it looked like Nina was raising her hand. Like if she could get
I
a
can just-
boat.
I can just wait upstairs and plug my ears.
No, because Rosita's going to find out anyway, isn't she? Her eyes and ears everywhere.
Well, considering you... Yes, probably.
I'd
check.
rather.
Considering we what? Also, why the fascinating? I do at least need to know that.
Fascinating.
Sure. Ste'yn, you can roll an insight check. To you, Viola, I don't do magic and things like that. I'm more of an observer. So it's very interesting to watch when I can sort of tell magic has happened or ended. And I think I can see what it looks like now from this side, how
What
things
are you
operate.
talking about, and what does it look like from the other side?
You don't have to worry about it. Nothing's happening anymore.
I have no clue what's
Viola,
going on.
stop
At least
talking
tell me
to
one
her.
thing.
It's a 22.
What are you trying to perceive about her?
See how forthcoming she's being with how much Rosita, Messi, and whoever will be able to learn, even if they let Nina leave.
Okay. From what she has seen of you four and what she seems to already know, she seems confident that one way or another, Rosita's goddess will figure things out. But there's also, having seen you four, there is a sense of doubt. Like maybe you guys have done something, you figured something out to kind of keep her at bay a little bit better than maybe you first did.
I think we'll be fine if we send Nina on her way. Tell her to tell Rosita hi for us. That perhaps we'll come by the pike another day for a drink to sort of settle things out. And that's...
Well, I don't think we
Nina
should
should
do
know.
it until we have our plans figured out.
I don't think... I think if we want to keep any plans from being known, because it is nice to have some things not known, then our best bet is to let Nina get on her merry way and not have the door hit her, you know.
Or we just knock her out, put her upstairs, and figure it out.
There's no need to do that, though.
I'm sure she has it coming. Look at that conniving face.
Oh, I'd love nothing more than to put more than just a bump on the back of her head. But
Then indulge.
I have restraint. She's not the one I'm actually angry at. Not fully.
I'm glad. I'd be afraid to see what happens if you were fully angry at me. I only came here to offer an olive branch. I told you exactly what you asked.
The
She giggles a
conversation we
little
have
bit.
with Rosita. I'll fill you in later, Viola. You should remember part of that, though.
Beau attacked Rosita.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you... Actually, I don't know when you stopped knowing things.
How do you know that I stopped knowing things besides everything else that's going on?
Viola, anybody in this room would know you stopped knowing things. You've had nothing but questions since 5 minutes ago.
Maybe it's an act.
I've
But
seen your
actually-
acting skills.
Look, only one person can really occupy that little of a space at any given time.
Viola walks over and punches her.
Yes! Finally!
Go ahead, roll your attack.
This would be an unarmed attack, correct? Unarmed strike?
Yeah, if you're punching
If you're
her.
only punching her.
Are you...
Yeah, that one.
No!
Oh no.
I want to cry right now. I'm so mad.
I'll let you decide what happens on the nat one, as long as you just don't hit her. What does it look like when you miss with a nat one and don't hit her?
My guess is that she's just so frustrated that she just swings straight past her and maybe stumbles a little bit. That's probably going to make her even more mad than she already is, so she's probably going to try to turn around and swing again.
You can swing again, roll with disadvantage. The second time round,
Even
as
if
it's
I'm
a little
using
more
my
wild.
action surge? Like if
I
it's
think
you wanna use it on
initiative?
With the nat one is what's giving the disadvantage. But you can hit again.
That is a 9.
That one gets closer, and she actually has to step out of the way from you, only to kind of bump into Ste'yn and gets stopped.
Then Viola's just gonna full on tackle her.
It just falls on top of
No
Viola.
one's stopping her, so she's just
She's
gonna keep
on top.
going.
No, Beau's just enjoying the show.
Every time she misses, she's
Viola?
getting more and more frustrated.
Ste'yn will step aside with Nina and try and get out of the zone of attack.
It's easy enough to stop an initial leap towards her.
Can we all just take a breath? None of us are pleased with this situation, and we're not getting anywhere.
Either
Right.
let me knock her out or get her out the door.
Oh, well, no, why don't you take her upstairs and stay with her?
I thought we didn't want her in the house at all.
As long as she can't hear our plan.
Nina, shall we? Nina looks at Ste'yn, who is otherwise keeping her in place, and as long as you stop treating me like a rag doll, I'll pretty much go wherever you
I
ask.
just stopped you from getting tackled.
Thank you, Ste'yn. I do appreciate that. That'll come in handy, your wisdom.
Oh, I know.
Keep saying things like that and I'll use you as a pin cushion.
I second that.
It'll just give the Peace Watch more fodder. That's fine.
They'll never find you.
She doesn't respond, but she will go. She will go escorted upstairs with Captain Nora. Nora gives you all a look as they get to the bend in the steps before they disappear behind the upper wall. She just gives you an urging look of figure this out. She goes upstairs.
Ste'yn goes back in the hut.
Before
Yeah,
Sits
Beau
down.
goes into the hut.
Hut time.
Viola walks into the hut. Okay, before we say anything else, okay, can someone please tell me what's going on? The last thing I remember is we were in prison. Emil came and told us that we needed to leave town. That's all I know.
Yes, so we got out of prison. We came to Nora's. Had a bit of a conversation with Nora. Built her in on things. Nina and Canyon came knocking. Beau convinced Canyon to leave Nina with us. Had a good debrief with... Not a good one, but we had a conversation with Nina. Where we learned things about Rosita. We learned things about happenings throughout the guardianship that are not exactly positive. We learned about 5 powerful beings that are not Rosita, but are doing things for Rosita's goddess. And we also learned that Cadence has likely been destroyed. And that Glia is here in town.
Why was Cadence just...
Well, at least came by town.
So that's where we are now. And then Peace Watch came by to try and find out where we were. Hence Beau becoming Elikin and Captain
Hello.
Elikin and
He still looks like...
everything else we saw. So now we need to
Okay.
figure out what the heck to do. And I just
So
don't know.
are we gonna go to Cadence and figure out what happened?
So real quick, we
I
did
mean,
confirm,
the only
like...
other lead we have is Bull Swamp.
But we did confirm, like, last time. Right now it's, like, 5-ish now in the afternoon. Was it? It was at least 5 hours... Because the mind link dropped.
When this all started,
the-
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was start. So that would have been 4 for the mind link to stop 4 o'clock. So I don't know if it's moved on to the 5 o'clock time yet.
In your chatter, it's nearing 5, I'd say, in all of this time. Definitely don't have the mind link anymore.
Cadence,
Yeah.
Bull Swamp.
All right. Well, are we thinking of getting out of town now then? Like tonight?
I would like to talk to Glia first if we can. And
We
see
don't
if
know
she
where
can
she
tell us
is.
anything. I can
Might be
find
best
her.
to leave, and you can message Glia.
All right.
And how
We don't
will
really
we?
have her anywhere
leave
else
as
in
soon as
town
we
to
can.
hide besides here. And if the Peace Watch has already been here, I'd say that this is not an option for hiding anymore.
We can leave from the rally district then and make for somewhere.
How are we thinking? Getting a horse, or are we going everyone on foot now?
Surely Sazian could hook us up.
I don't know if we want to go back to the Peace District and risk that travel.
And he might
they're
not be
watching
here
for
anymore
us.
Anyway.
I think our best bet is to get whatever supplies we can from here, as in Nora's house, and just head out.
Hmm.
Can I go Buttercup?
What about that? We talked about Fate. Maybe she has magical transportation options.
We might could leave here and go to Fate's. Buttercup is in the Peace District. I don't think we want to go all the way back that way.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think Fate could be able to aid us. I don't think going to Cadence would really be useful.
I agree.
No. We'd like to find out what happened, but I can do that without needing to go there.
So Bull Swamp?
We don't have anywhere else, I suppose.
How far away is Bull Swamp?
It was... We've been there before. How long did it take us last time to get there?
Technically, we went there before we had the map changed. So
That's why I'm
Technically, it's a fair bit longer than when I originally created things. Can you all roll me a perception check, please?
Ooh, 19.
Oh, wait, actually, is it in this
Or
region? Because I just remembered Beau has, I think, a region map.
Ooh.
Does he have a region map?
I'm checking now. Region map.
I rolled a
You're-
12, but my passive is 15.
Oh, this is
33.
perception? Or
Perception.
Okay, I
Perception.
got an 11.
Okay.
16.
As you guys are discussing and you're considering, and Beau's wondering if he has a map to figure out how far the swamp is from here, you, Ste'yn, you hear from upstairs. It sounds like they might be having some slightly elevated conversation. You can't make out the words, but every now and then it's interrupted. You hear it's Nora, and you can hear her coughing a little bit, and then it seems to quiet down. The others, you just hear their footsteps upstairs as you guys are discussing.
Do you three like to figure out how to get to Bull Swamp? I hear some shouting up there or something. Elevated discussion.
Well,
Oh,
I
actually,
do
no, it's
have
alright.
a map. So, looking at his
I'd be happy
map,
to go upstairs
how
and
far,
do it.
how many days on foot is it?
Probably just shy of a week.
Beau, what about your friend Perula?
Perula.
Could she? No, not Perula. What's her name?
Helena?
Elena.
The other Tabaxi.
What about
Could
her?
Helena help us get some transportation?
She won't. I mean, maybe. I don't really think so. Or it would be costly.
Well, I feel like we've settled on Bull Swamp. I feel like we need to leave tonight. Yes.
We'll leave sometime soon. Let's not set an exact time until we know what we're doing with the one upstairs.
We just
I
want
mean, I
us
haven't
to
figured
have a
out what I'd
clear
like to do with the
plan
one upstairs.
before we let her go.
Why do you want to make a clear plan when she could be listening? She's having an elevated conversation with Nora. But
If she's
Anyway.
having an elevated conversation, then she's not listening.
fine.
Are we gonna go by Fate's shop first?
You'll figure that out. I'm going to make sure Nora's alright.
If we're going to Fate's shop, maybe I should just be the one to run over there. I still have this
I feel like
disguise for another
regardless of-
45 minutes, which it will go
Yeah.
down once I get there, but then I am stealthier than, well, you particularly.
I feel like regardless of where we go, we're gonna have some sort of disguise, all four of us, to get out of here. But I'm not opposed to you going alone to Fate, even though you're not the most eloquent with words. Also, actually, maybe you running around as eloquent isn't the greatest idea. People might want to stop you and talk to you. And what if you run into yourself somewhere?
Please, you've seen this guy in public. No one wants to talk to him.
Ste'yn has left the hut and is going to check upstairs, by the way.
You start heading upstairs. As you're reaching just that top step or the landing and you start to go up, you hear a shriek from behind the door. It appears they had gone into Nora's room. The door's closed. You hear this shriek, and it's coming from Nina.
Open the door.
Did the rest of
You
us hear
throw the
that
door-
shriek? Sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Then Beau's
It's
gonna
Viola.
start heading upstairs then.
A
He heard that.
terrified shriek.
Snow stands up but doesn't leave the hut yet.
He has battle
Yet.
stance.
Soon. Not yet.
Well, getting up is half movement, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true too.
So I'm gonna be standing.
So Ste'yn, as you rush and you throw the door open, you see Nina is stumbling back away from one of the windows, facing out front. Nora is still standing by the window, but she's like leaning against the wall and she's continuing to cough as she's also looking out. Nina just looks horrified as she stumbles back and like falls back on the bed, just white as a ghost.
What's going on in here? Nora, you alright?
Nora doesn't answer. She doesn't seem to be able to for coughing at the moment. She's also looking a bit pale herself as she's just pointing towards the window.
Ste'yn will look out the window.
And what you see as you look out, and Beau, I don't know if you were following behind her. After
Yeah, he
hearing
was just running right up there, so he'd probably get up there pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Viola was too, but she's not as fast as Beau.
She's not quite as fast. What you see And then Beau, as you come running in and you see Ste'yn over by the window, you join her. There's a second one, I think. You can see that those Peace Watch, who you assumed had walked away, appear to have returned. You see a few of them kind of also doubled over, clutching at their chests, while others seem to just now be standing back up, releasing their chests that have this kind of gaping wound in them. But the rest of their bodies appear to be these sunken, sallow-skinned,
Oh no.
this dead-looking form. The others behind them, as they seem to be grabbing, you can see between their fingers appears to be something dark dripping down their hands. And then they also start to reach up. What you also note is that around them, around the ground, appears to be forming this dark mist.
Like to use Eyes of the Grave to see if they're undead within 60 feet of us. See if those Peace Watch have become undead.
You see this form, and your mind pings almost habitually. And these figures who are grabbing at their chests and then slowly pulling themselves back up ping at you as they start to move back towards the door.
Right, we're about to have a bunch of zombie visitors. I can try and help get some of them to turn away. How far away are they from the house?
They are right at the door. They're within 10 feet and stumbling towards the door. But they, with your perception, Ste'yn, I would say you also note that despite the appearance and despite what your magic has told you, they are still moving in this organized formation and towards the door.
Did Viola make it upstairs?
Yes, shortly after you could easily make it up the stairs. The others are all standing by the windows, seeing what's going on out there.
Full of undead beings getting ready to come. Peace Watch, turned undead, think zombies either. I'm going back downstairs to get a handle on the situation, make sure Nina... Yes?
Is something happening on Nina's body? That's what I was about to ask.
Nothing appears to be different about Nina other than she is white as a ghost and she looks horrified.
If you don't want to get in the fight, stay up here. If you want to get in the fight, come down. And Ste'yn's gonna head downstairs and start filling snow in on the situation.
Viola pulls out both swords and runs back downstairs as well.
Is Nora on her feet, or did she collapse?
She's still on her feet, but she was leaning on the wall.
Beau's going to...
She seems to slowly be catching her breath.
Beau's going to kind of push her along into the office room. Unless she's fighting him, because he's not going to bother if she's going to be giving him a hard time.
She's probably insistent to either barricade the doors or something.
Well, that's why he's putting her in the office room, so she's not in the same room as Nina's corpse. Because he has concerns that something could still happen with that.
She'll leave the room. Nina doesn't appear to be a threat anymore. She doesn't seem to be thinking about Nina, but she would start...
of appearances.
Fair enough. But Nora would probably start to head downstairs as well. Unless if you said you're not insisting, she would go downstairs. If
Can you actually
insistent,
fight, Nora?
Of course I can.
You can barely stand. You're leaning on a wall.
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay, you're going to be in the way. I'm going to ask you to be in the office.
Are you still dressed as Elikin?
I will drop it if you go into the office.
That was me asking.
Yeah, but I imagine her facial expression.
It's like she looks at you again. She's still just like, who is here?
Go wait in the office and I will drop this. Unless you want to be fighting alongside your husband.
There's a small glare in her eyes, but also she doesn't continue to fight you. She goes over towards the office door. She doesn't close it entirely, like she at least wants to hear what's going on, but she won't go downstairs.
Okay, and Beau will drop the disguise self and then get downstairs.
The ones that Ste'yn saw and that you guys could see through the windows were at the front door.
Okay, and he's
But as you're coming down, you hear more banging on the back door, the back wall, by the windows. And you can see now there are numerous of these once Peace Watch with their now sunken, dead skin that are bashing at the wall and fighting with the door to get in.
Ste'yn is going to stand basically in the center of the downstairs area as much as she can.
Well, Snow is going to ask, do we want the hut or no?
I'd say no.
This is a huge house. Okay.
It's very spacious. It worked out for the hut.
Oh, Nina's... Oh. I'm on the wrong layer. Nina is not here.
That's not going to help us yet. The hut's up to you if you want to be able to fight these things when they start coming in. You probably want to drop it. If you want to try and stay safe and offer a place of more resistance, that's up to you.
Well, it's more, do you all want to have a place of safety that you can return to if you need to, or not?
Keep it up for now, because you can drop it at the drop of a hat, basically, right?
And as I leave it...
Or at the drop of a hut.
Viola, can you push... Viola, can you push this chair over here in front of the front door?
Viola will go up and do that. Use the chair to block under the door.
Better to have them only
So I
come in
guess
from one
they're
way
just
than
here.
two.
Ste'yn's
When
gonna
you say
run.
that, she'll take the other chair if she can, if she has time, and try to go and barricade the back door as
Well,
well.
he's
Yeah, I'd like to
hoping
go
that they'll
look and
come
see if there's
through the
anything at
back
the back
door so
door.
that way they could take care of the group in the front and then move their way to the group in the back, is his thinking.
Are there any out
Wait.
the back? If we go and look over as we're beating our way around.
Yes, and they are slamming on the door and on
Which
the wall.
which side has the bigger group?
The back still appears to have the larger group.
Excellent. Standing pretty close to the back door, we're going to scream out a phrase, and Celestial, as she presents her holy symbol and turns all the undead. Any that can hear her within this range of 30 feet have to make a wisdom saving throw or leave.
Are you guys where you are as far as this room is
Yeah.
concerned?
I mean,
I think
Beau
so, yeah.
is there.
Beau's in the middle there. Viola's
Yeah.
up front with the chair. Stay in the back. Okay, cool. So, Ste'yn, you cast Turn Undead, and you watch as those like three squadrons that had the three squads of the Peace Watch that had approached the back. You watch as a series of them begin to turn away and start shambling out. Some of them, while they seem to be organized on their way towards you, this seems to have muddled their minds and they start to meander away from you. Some of them kind of missing the fact that there is a gate to a little garden and tripping over and still trying to make their way out and making a bit of a mess in that poor garden again. Poor garden. But you see remaining still, so I think there were like 18 in the back. You now only see 8 of these Peace Watch zombies remaining. But what you also can see out the window is that there are still a few Peace Watch standing there who have not seemed to transform. And they also look horrified as their weapons are drawn and they're kind of watching these things that have approached the house, prepared to combat the ones that begin turning away until they realize they're just walking away from the house. I guess if they're
Glad
not,
they're so good at protecting the people of the city.
well,
Yeah,
if
they're
they
just gonna
are,
let zombies move around the city now.
give them a second, dang. But there are 8 remaining that are at the wall, and they are making short work of this door and these windows. And I think at this point we can roll initiative.
Roll
If
by
anyone
alcohol.
rolled a 20 or higher, let me know.
21.
Wow.
Nat
All right.
20 for a
Which-
So
20.
what's the total?
Yeah. 23. Between 15 and 20.
17.
And I guess that leaves Beau.
I've gotten 11.
So, Viola, you're up first.
The first thing she wants to do is move over 20 feet to in front of this window and look out and see what's happening out front.
You see, as soon as you get to the window, you're just about to become face to face with two of these Peace Watch zombies. Past them, you can see there are 4 more situated by the door that you just finished barring. You can see it looks like the other 2. There's 2 more that appear to be in the direction of the other window.
Are they close enough to the window that she could stab them through the window?
I guess if you were up at the window reaching through, they'd technically be in melee range of you.
Does she need to move up, like, to here?
Yes.
Are they like the paned windows where they've got like little squares of window? They kind of look like they are, but I can't tell for sure.
Something like that, probably.
Okay, so she wants to just look at it first and make sure it's locked. If it's not locked, she's gonna lock it.
Okay.
And then with her first attack, she wants to break out one of the small window squares.
Roll your attack.
So, does she, okay, it's a 12
A 12 to break the window? Yes, that's fine.
to hit the window. That's not damage.
Yes.
I don't know if I need to roll damage, but
No, it's a window.
okay.
I think if you hit it, I think you're gonna be okay.
That was with her short sword, so then with her rapier, she's gonna try to poke at this guy out here. That is a 14.
14 does not quite hit.
Okay, that's all she's got for her first turn then.
So, Ste'yn, you see, or at least you hear, as the window further from you shatters. You also hear this slamming as you see this blade come through the door and just about crumble it. So this door is essentially useless at this point. But you also see it seem to move Snow.
He's going to call out, Ste'yn, you should probably move away from the door. He is going to let the hot drop. He's going to come over here to the stairs, right here. And he's going to cast Fairy Fire. He can easily get all 8 of them outside, as well as a couple of the unaffected Peace Watch. They're just going to have to deal with it. So I need Dexterity save.
Fail, I'm sure. That was only a 9 over there. I'm separated them kind of in these groups. That's another 9, so all the Zamboys failed. Peace Watch are not rolling well, and they also failed it.
So all of them are now outlined in this blue light, and any attacks against them are with advantage. And then bonus action, inspiration to Ste'yn. From this landing up here, is it just like a rail? Can he still see out normally?
You can see over the railing.
Alright, he's just gonna come all the way up then.
Viola, Zambi that you went to attack moves towards you and strikes at you with a short sword. That is only a 10? No, how about a nat 1 instead? As the other one came up with his this halberd, you're able to dodge it. But you are able to see as the other ones go for the door itself. You hear this cracking into the front door as well. Ste'yn.
Heeding Snow's advice, we'll move out of the way of the door a little bit. Action, we're going to go Celestial Form, Radiant Soul, and get some nice glowing wings and some glimmering eyes. So she's just like lightly hovering over the floor where she's standing. And then we're going to bring up Spiritual Weapon for bonus action. And she's going to cast it right outside the door. They can fight out there, even if she wants to stay out of the way. We're going to attack this one right here with a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
12 force damage. And 6 radiant damage.
As you're moving over, and you're now visible of this window, you can see as the zombies on the other side maneuver themselves, and they also strike at the window. You see a short sword break through the glass. While the first ones who were going for it didn't quite get through, another one strikes and the window is completely shattered. You see them start to crawl in. That brings us to Beau.
Beau's gonna bonus action for his blade song, and then I guess just throw a dagger at this one. So that is a 16 to hit.
16 will hit.
Nice.
16 just hits it.
It's 9 damage.
Is that including sneak attack? Because
It
you have
is.
advantage on the roll.
It is.
Ooh.
It was
He's
2
like,
ones.
It is.
It was 2
One
ones.
single bow tier.
Rip.
And coming up from the rear, Viola, these 2 other zombies that are up front with you on the farthest side, you see them make their way over to the other window as well. You watch them strike at it. One solid hit, but doesn't quite break through entirely. That brings us to you again, Viola.
Okay, so she's gonna strike out with her rapier at this zombie. 10 is not gonna hit, so she will swing with her short sword. I'm guessing a 21 will hit.
21 kind of hits a little.
Okay, so then she is going to, she's focused on this guy, so it's her favored foe at the moment. So that is gonna be 5 damage. That's all she's gonna do for now.
You can see everywhere they've moved, this black mist. It's light, but it seems to be emanating around them. And you can see it trailing behind the ones that were walking away from you as well. Ste'yn, you see the same thing happening that you saw on the left-hand side as they move in this formed unison and using this column, it seems, as some cover. As one of them, this guy actually is going to draw this hefty-looking crossbow and aim it at you, Ste'yn. That's going to miss. The other one does not strike. It just seems to stand defensively, protecting the one behind it. Out in the distance, you hear some clashing as it seems the Peace Watch have begun to strike out at some of the Zamboys that were meandering. You can hear combat continuing outside. Snow.
For my action, we're going to vicious mockery this gentleman. He's
The one
just gonna
Beau
call
attacked?
out, "You stink!" And I need a wisdom saving throw for that.
A 14?
That is a failure. So it takes 6 points of psychic damage, and it has disadvantage on its next attack roll that it makes before the end of its next turn. And I'm going to move down a step, but that is my turn.
Decay body stinks. Viola, these 2 are going to strike at you again. First one with a short sword, a 23 to hit.
She's gonna use one of her shield charges from the hairpin, so it does not hit.
And then the other one strikes with its halberd, and that is much lower, and that's not going to hit you. You hear another set of cracks as the door comes crashing apart, and you watch as 2 more of these zombies enter.
Even with the chair there, they were
Oh,
just...
there is a chair there. It will slow them still, as it's, we're gonna call it difficult terrain.
That's
With
fair.
lots of wood shards. Those are front zombies. Ste'yn.
First up, we're gonna have Spiritual Weapon come back inside, and it's gonna bonk at this guy. I think that's the same guy it hit before. That is a 22 to hit.
That hits.
4 force damage and 5 radiant damage. Action, we're gonna send a Sacred Flame, though, at the one that shot a crossbow bolt at her. I need a dexterity save from the crossbow guy.
It's a 19.
That makes the save. Movement, we're just gonna come and get a little bit some better angles on these guys.
Are you flying at all, or it's still just standing?
She's flying, like 5 feet in the air.
You see them move. This one comes around and approaches you, Ste'yn, and his buddy moves. The first one strikes at you with a short sword. 14, I don't think hits you.
Nope.
That's an 18 to hit for the
Misses.
halberd from his... Oh, wow. This one is going to come up, and he's also going to try and strike with his short sword
With disadvantage.
with disadvantage. That is an 18 again, which is going to... And his buddy moves up a little bit, seems to peek out from cover. He also pulls out his crossbow. That's a 19 to hit.
Who?
Meets it, beats it.
And that's going to be 9 piercing damage. And then he makes his way back behind this column.
Alright, Beau is going to throw another dagger at that guy. So it's a dirty 20.
That definitely hits.
That's 12 psychic damage. Then he's going to throw his bonus action knife at it. That's going to be a 24 to hit.
That hits.
So that is 7 damage. And then he's going to be a bit annoyed. Why the hell is this house warded from only ferals and not undead? Who designed this? And then he's going to end his turn.
Viola, you can see again the pole end of this halberd cracking through and just managing to kind of clear out the rest of this window. And you see him come up over here behind one of these pillars. This one comes in with plenty of room, and he's going to also unleash a crossbow bolt at you, Viola. That's only a 9.
Nope.
Brings us back to the top of the initiative, which is you, Viola.
She is gonna keep on keeping on and swing at her favorite foe at the moment. That is not going to hit with her rapier, so she's gonna swing with her short sword. That is a dirty 20 to hit.
Hits.
That is 13 damage this time. Did she have to use her action surge earlier to swing at Nina twice?
No.
Okay, so she's gonna go ahead and use her action surge to swing at this zombie again with her rapier. That is a 21.
That hits.
8 damage. Okay, so she's gonna stay right here.
These guys can get right up towards Beau. He's going to strike at you, Beau. That's a natural 20.
And
With
meets
his
his
short
armor
sword.
class.
That's going to be 14 slashing damage. This other one is coming around. You could just make it up to Beau. He's also going to attack. A dirty 20 to hit.
That's fine. Like it hits. Yeah.
You accept it?
Yeah, I mean, I could do
Okay.
shield, but I feel like not worth it right
Worries.
now. I only have 1 shield left in me.
That's 8 slashing damage from his short sword. This guy has his crossbow, which is also trained on you, Beau. That is well and below your armor class. This guy is also going to attack with a crossbow bolt. He's going to move this way, get some sight, and attempt to strike our friend on the stairs.
Do you have partial cover from the railing here? And the elevation?
I'd allow like what, quarter cover? What does that add?
Well, a quarter cover is not a thing, but half
Just
cover would
kidding.
add 2.
Half
Oh,
cover's
okay.
a thing. Well, if it's only a quarter, then that's half of that. That's only
So
one.
1.
That's gonna be an 18.
Yeah, it is.
We tried.
That is 11 piercing damage. He's going to maneuver himself actually back the way he came. Snow, it is your turn.
Vicious mockery at the same guy as before. Another wisdom save.
It's an 18.
That succeeds. That's my turn.
Viola, you deal with this guy. It's not doing a wonderful job on that window. I'll have this one move here, as the other with its halberd is also going to strike out, specifically trying to shatter that window. You see this blade come striking in, shattering this glass directly in front of you. You will take 3 points of slashing damage, we'll say, as the glass kind of spits back at you.
Have you been
think I
making
still-
con saves for your favored foe?
I think this is the first time she's been hit. So
Oh, okay, cool.
That's a nat 20.
Then you're good.
Ste'yn.
There's a little bit of a smirk on her face as her hands become wreathed in a little bit of shadow themselves as she casts Vampiric Touch and makes an attack at the one in front of her. One of those was a nat 20, so we're going to do a lot of damage to this guy.
Whoop whoop.
26 necrotic damage, and Ste'yn gets back 13 of that as hit points.
You zap out the life force in this creature.
It dead.
Something is involved.
It dead.
It dead. The guy next to you reacts to its struck friend-ish. That's only a 12, so it doesn't hit you.
Cool. And we're going to spiritually bonk this guy. That's a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
And that's going to do 11 force damage and 6 radiant damage for a total of 17. She just sort of holds up her shadow-covered hand. Who's next?
They are doubly unhappy with that. The one who missed with his short sword He is now also going to kind of more throw himself at you as it seems to try and latch on to you. That's going to miss.
She just pulls her feet up.
The one behind it is going to strike. That's a 24 to hit with the halberd.
That will hit.
That's 14 piercing damage as it slices at you. And this guy in the back pokes his head out. And he's also going to try and strike at Snow.
Did Ste'yn make her con
Noting-
save?
Is that for the spiritual weapon?
No, it's for necrotic
No.
or vampire touch.
It's for the vampiric touch.
To Snow. That's a natural one. There's an unsettling spring popping sound that's perfectly nice for you, much less nice for it. Beau.
Right.
Oh, sorry. He's also gonna scoot on back as his weapon is less effective.
Beau is going to strike at this one in front of him. And that is a 22 to hit.
That hits.
That is 14 psychic damage. And then he'll attack with his bonus action as well on that one. And that's going to be a 25.
That hits.
That is 5 more psychic damage. And that's going to be his turn.
Viola, you see the ones that entered from the far side. One of them comes rushing towards you. Also appears to just kind of reach out. That's a 20 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Just the force of it striking you. You're afraid there might leave bruises. It hurt. It's going to be 6 bludgeoning damage, as well as 9 necrotic damage. First it burns, and then it's this weird kind of mix of burning and a little icy. Buddy is going to move here along the wall. He's also going to strike at you, Viola. That one misses, though.
Cassie, did you make another con save?
This guy, he stays where he is, but his buddy in the corner is going to also launch a crossbow in your direction. That's a natural 20.
Oh my gosh.
I will silvery barbs it.
And who's getting the advantage?
Viola,
The second roll definitely missed.
I got you.
And you see it kind of duck down behind one of Nora's couches. Viola, we're back to you.
She is going to swing at the one she's been swinging at. I don't know which one it is over here anymore. I think this one.
Yeah, it's
Not
the one
100%.
to your left now.
Okay. So
He seems
she's
to have
gonna swing
repositioned.
at that one with her short sword. 24.
24 hits.
6 damage. No,
6
wait,
damage?
9 damage. Sorry.
As you're striking it, its friend reacts and strikes at you with his halberd. He also misses.
Okay, Viola's gonna swing at it again with her rapier this time. That
Okay.
is a 15.
15 does not hit. Snow, it is your turn.
We're gonna do vicious mockery to the one in front of Beau that Beau's already hit.
That's a natural 1.
So does
It takes 4 points of psychic damage and it has disadvantage. Bonus action. How is everybody looking health-wise? Anybody taking significant damage?
I mean, Beau's been healthier.
A little hurt.
What was that, Viola?
Viola's looking a little hurt. Like
Alright.
almost halfway hurt.
In regards to health, Beau is less than half.
True.
So we're going to give him
Noted.
a second level healing word. Unfortunately, that is minimum, but that's still 6 points that you didn't have
Nice.
before.
I'll take
We
it.
did, but it was taken away.
That is my turn.
Snow, you finish casting, and then you hear the pull of the crossbow bolt. That's a dirty 20 to hit, which is going to be 8 points of piercing damage. As you hear him seem to call to his neighbors, kill the half-elf. We only need to kill him once. And another crossbow bolt comes your way. That's a
Oh, good.
15.
Aha, with the cover, it works.
So I have +1 to my AC, so it hit.
Which is 5 additional points of piercing damage.
Alrighty. Fairy fire is
These
still
two.
up.
This one, the one directly ahead of you, Beau, strikes at you.
With
This one has a
disadvantage.
It could have been an 18. It's going to be another natural 1.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, an 18 would still miss.
The other takes heed of the other's words and leaves you, Beau, in order to go after Snow.
Well, but as I found out recently, I can't make opportunity attacks with psionic daggers. So,
This one is
You
going
could
to...
punch him.
oh, that's true. Can I punch him?
You want an unarmed strike? Go for
It
it.
will do a whole
Yes.
0 points of damage.
Just
Do it.
for
Do
the
it.
spite. Of doing a
You can
spiteful
punch out a spite with advantage because I love that you're punching
Well,
it out
I
of
mean, he
spite.
would have it anyway because of fairy fire.
Oh.
It's
Good,
also
I'm
not
glad.
gonna do damage, so.
Yeah.
I just like him hitting it out
Well,
of spite.
actually, so he's got an 11 with advantage because he has a -1 to his punch.
Oh my god.
I want the... Never mind. 11 does not hit.
Yeah, I know.
As he runs past. As he runs past, and he also just seems to lunge at you, Snow. Dagnab, that is not going to hit. That's only a 2 on the die.
I have the high ground.
Ste'yn, it is your turn.
Spiritual weapon's going to move and come attack this guy who's on the stairs, going after my friend.
I like we're just leaving Viola to do her thing down there.
Well, Viola.
She seems
Sorry,
okay.
guys, don't worry.
But was just like,
He's
let's
doing
just
great.
focus them all up here. But I was just like, I'm gonna go hang out down there.
He was already
That was
down here. I would have had to use the dash action and then do nothing my first turn.
Just making me
And they
work
would
the
have come
camera
our way
angles.
eventually.
I just think it's funny.
13 force, 6 radiance. That
Viola
was a crit.
deserves her own camera angle.
I'm sorry, 13 force and how much? 6?
6 radiance. Yep.
Okay. You spectrally bonked it and crushed its skull. Or
Got
radiant.
you, Snow. And then we're going to turn back to this guy. And we're going to give him another swipe with the shadow hand. That is a 19 to hit.
19 hits.
That is 16 necrotic damage.
Back zombies are displeased by Ste'yn's actions.
Good.
The one that you just struck with your vampiric touch is going to bite back as it also throws itself at you again.
You want to, you just can't have me.
22 to hit.
That will hit.
It's 4 bludgeoning damage, is an additional 6 necrotic damage.
Half to 3. Thank you.
Oh, and you know what? Just for funsies, since they finally actually did something with this one, it's going to be an additional 1 point of psychic damage. As you can feel some of that energy that you had taken from it, it seems to leave you. Just a drop, but seems to go back to it.
I'll have to do more than that to take me down.
Happy to try, ma'am. As its buddy behind him with the halberd.
Did Ste'yn make the con save for that one?
She did.
Sweet.
That's going to miss. And he, in the back, is going to spend this time trying to fix his gosh dang crossbow because he wants to use that. Beau!
Beau's going to position himself over here, and he's going to slash at this one who doesn't have a frowny face anymore with his scimitar. That is 25 to hit.
Uh-huh.
11 slashing damage.
A large piece of its flesh comes off along with your scimitar, finishing its strike. Viola, that Zomboid behind you, is going to try and grab at you again. It fails miserably. His halberded friend, also not doing great, as he also swings. You hear from behind the pillar further back, he has switched weapons. And with that good distance, this one is going after Beau is readily available for him.
Readily? I don't know.
Readily.
Those relationship
15?
status is complicated. 15 misses.
15 misses. Viola?
She's gonna swing at this one that she's been swinging at since the beginning with her rapier. That is a 16.
16 hits.
8.
He almost dead. He's very close to dead. This guy has his reaction as he also chops down again with his halberd. It's a 21.
She'll shield.
Okay,
Nice.
it will not hit.
And then she's gonna use her bonus action, Second Wind. And she will get back a 12 hit points.
Oh, that was good.
Anything else?
Nope.
Round 5. Viola, can you please give me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh,
As I should have been describing, but
Ooh.
all the same. As this fight has been going on, trailing now throughout the house, throughout this floor, wherever these zombies have been moving, has been this dark mist, and it has been steadily growing around them. How'd you do?
Not great. That was a 6.
Okay.
Rolled a 2.
Going to take 2 points of necrotic damage, and you feel yourself a little bit short of breath, It's a very similar feeling to when you were out in Undra, as this mist seemed to just want to cling to you. It feels just heavy on you. Back Zambies. The one beside Beau, he's striking at Beau, a 15.
Nope.
Crossbow is still trained on Snow. That's a 10. This one is actually going to strike with his crossbow at Ste'yn. That one's also going to miss. That's only a 6. You hear a lessening of the clashing of blades outside. Distant sound of a cough upstairs. Snow, it is your turn.
Excellent. We're gonna...
Please make me a Constitution saving throw, as the mist also travels
9.
up the steps. You will take 6 necrotic damage.
Alrighty. Going to Vicious Mockery, the guy who keeps trying to shoot me with a crossbow bolt.
Like
Good
it.
call.
That's an 8.
6
damage.
psychic damage. And disadvantage on its
And
next
disadvantage.
attack.
The fairy
as-
fire Stow up after that necrotic hit.
Very
Yep,
high
I've been rolling.
concentration. You see Viola, the one that you've been striking at. Give me a perception check.
That's a nat 20? I don't know what you're working at.
It becomes very apparent to you when it seems to change its focus from you to something outside. It turns, and you can see very far off, heading down the road in front of Nora's house, a stout figure. It's too far to make out any other real details. But there is someone standing out there. It seems very bulky, seems short. There's a presence about it. It's not moving towards you. It just appears to be looking in that direction. You think you hear something. It's faint, but it starts walking away, as does the one with the halberd. They seem to be going in that direction of that, whatever that figure is.
Okay. Do you need a con save from her?
She is flying.
Yes.
She's above the smoke, in a sense.
It twirls around your feet almost as if it wishes to pull you down.
We're going to add some inspiration to that roll.
Okay.
Perfect. To make it a nice, solid, dirty 20.
You feel it around you. It's disturbing.
Once again, we're going to come and we're gonna spiritually bonk crossbow guy. That is a 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Excellent. And we're doing 11 force and 6 radiant. Haha, take that. We're going to take a nice swipe at this one with some vampiric touch, the one in front of her. I love having advantage because it means I get to crit more often.
Viola technically always has 2 chances to crit because she can crit on a 19 and still has not crit.
Well, you
That
haven't
is
been having
31.
advantage.
Necrotic damage.
As you take the life force out of it and you kind of watch it pull towards you and then crumple to the ground. Give me a perception check.
That is a 25.
And actually, I will also have Snow and Beau. Can you also give me perception checks?
Bo got on that one.
Super
There's a
good.
fight
That's a
going on.
9.
You've been busy too. Ste'yn, as this thing crumples to the ground, you see its Peace Watch cloak also looks tattered as if it also had aged and died along with it. You see these studs on its armor, and you note these silver studs. One of them is not silver. One of them is a small red gem-like stud, and as it falls, you see it crack and a little stream of blood down its body.
We're gonna just step between the 2 bodies around her and come here for some better attacks next turn.
You're stepping past the one fallen foe. This one that you seem to be walking away from. Not out of range, but still. It is going to strike at you with its halberd. It's going to miss with a 14. So this one is going to move for a better sight on you, Ste'yn. It also misses. This one seems to want to strike at the other one who's doing a lot of damage to his buddies, which is Beau. That's... How many nat 20s was that?
Are you kidding me?
Wait, did he just hit a nat 20 on Beau?
Yeah.
He did.
Cool, we're gonna Sentinel at that, store that, and make it a normal hit.
Normal hit it is. It's 9 piercing damage. After they strike, these two start moving towards the door.
When Viola saw the guy outside, is she able to call that out to the others right then? Or does she have to wait until her turn to say something?
No, you can say something. It's free action to shout out.
Okay. So Viola would have shouted out that there's a stout-looking man outside.
A stout,
That-
studly man down the road, staring at us.
Man who's at the end of the drive with his attention turned this way, and two
Road.
of the zombies. And two of the zombies started headed towards them.
Interesting. Should still kill as many of these in here as we can.
I
Don't
might go
assume
after
it's a
this
friend.
one that went outside, because I'm very ticked that I didn't kill it yet.
This one also starts to move, but he stops here by the window.
Beau, hearing that, he wants to run in that direction and get a better look at this person at the very least, but maybe catch
Con
up to
save,
him.
please.
It's 15, but he's gonna run in that direction that she mentioned. So he can get out the door, like he can get to the border of the map in 30, but he has 135 movement, so he still has another 75 that he can go once he gets outside the range of the map. So
That's fair.
can he make a perception check to try and start figuring out who this person might be?
Was a zombie next to him too that
Yeah.
might have had an opportunity attack?
Yeah, he'll go for it. 18, I don't think hits.
Yeah, that misses.
Your ACs are very high. Yeah, you can do a perception check.
Alright,
Josh's face.
I'm gonna use his inspiration because I've been holding that for I think 4 sessions now.
My money's on Granny.
So that is a 19
Oh, yes.
or 24.
I think it might be Oglen.
Mark your die. As you are barreling towards this creature, whoever or whatever it is, the closer you get, it's still very far out. The fact, well, Viola only mentioned that she had seen it. Mechanically, it's like 500 feet further out, but you can make out much clearer. It appears to be dwarven height, but you see thick hair obscuring the front of some well-used armor. But I think most noteworthy is that as it's standing there, very stoic and just observing, doesn't even seem to move or make a reaction that you're approaching it, but you can see it's holding a shield beside it. And the shield glints in this deep red going across the front of it, like a line of the deep red. These front zombies still want a piece of Viola. 13 to hit for the first one, and halberd friend, it also completely whiffs with the halberd. And then they also seem to react to whatever is outside, and they start to make their way. This would be the beginning of round 6. Starts with you, Viola.
Okay, so she is going to use her 30 feet of movement to catch up with that guy that she was smacking on to begin with. And
Okay.
she's going to hit him with her rapier. That is a 17.
That hits.
14 damage.
You
Oh,
manage to
Lord.
get your revenge on this creature.
I think that's all she's got then.
This guy is left here. He's going after Snow. As it swings wide and misses, you will get an opportunity attack as it seems to have wanted to strike at you and then make a run for it. It's going to step away from you.
Yep, I'm not gonna take that.
Okay. It's making its way towards the door. Beau and Viola, while you guys are outside, you see there are more Peace Watch out there who had seemed to have originally been part of this group. There are corpses on the ground, no longer moving, that they seem to have fought or have been fighting off. The one that, Viola, you were going to go after, as it was walking down the road, you see it suddenly stop and it seems to collapse. You can give me a perception check.
21.
As it stops and it collapses to the ground, you can also see that one of the studs on its armor beneath its cloak was not silver, was in fact red, as it is shattered and there is a splatter of blood on the front of its armor. Ste'yn, you see the same thing happens to this one. Snow, it is your turn.
We're gonna vicious mockery this one in front of by Ste'yn. So that is a wisdom save.
That is a 6.
That's 6 points of psychic damage and disadvantage on its next attack. That is my turn.
We're gonna do big swipe at this guy. That is a 1T plus to hit, not a crit. That's a 25 to hit.
That hits.
And that is 11 necrotic damage. And then we're gonna spiritually bonk this guy. That is a 17 to hit.
17 hits.
That is 7 force and 6 radiant.
It is bonker-rude. You don't hear a crack or anything like that as this one collapses to the ground.
They
Anything
will
else?
call out. No, there might be a ruby on that one's armor that's not broken.
Okay, do you want it?
I don't have a particular want for it, but it might not be a bad thing to have
All
to
right,
make sure no
I'll
one
add
else
to the
can use it.
collection.
As the other ones did, they hear the call. They both are moving in that direction, and you note as they climb through the window, Ste'yn, you're very keenly aware of the crack, the collapse, the pop. Beau,
Beau's just going to
you
continue
continuing your
booking it
dash?
towards that guy.
that's another 135 feet.
Yep.
You're noting a few more features. It's definitely a thick black beard. The hair is pulled back into some type of ponytail, but the sides seem to be shaved down some. Has a kind of more bulbous nose. He has a stance as someone who's seen kind of a military life in one way or another. He has a very militaristic stance about him. He's completely unfazed by your approach.
Between his beard, stance, bulbous nose, is any people's face, because you probably wouldn't think of no names, but is anybody that he interacted with coming to mind?
No. Other than the figure, there are no more immediate combatants.
What about this one?
Did Ste'yn kill
Unless
this one?
Oh. He's
I mean, we don't have to play it out if he's just gonna die.
he's going to die.
Okay.
But I will drop initiative.
Well, how far is Beau getting? If we're dropping initiative, because he's gonna keep running in that direction.
I mean, if you're going to keep running, you're going to run directly towards this thing. There are some scattered Peace Watch outside near you, Viola, who are also now looking at the corpses on the ground.
Viola probably would, seeing Beau continue on, start to chase after him a bit. Now she's not going to be going near as far as he is, but she'll try.
Yeah, you can start trying to run up and following him, for sure.
She's just going to continue on after Beau until he stops running, so that's what she's
Sure.
doing for the foreseeable future.
Ste'yn and Snow inside of the house. What are you guys doing?
Collecting rubies and looting
Yeah.
bodies.
Give me an investigation check, you two.
Ooh, it's not bad. Just a 18.
23.
You find standard, their weaponry is on them, obviously. Their Peace Watch brooch and cloak. A few of them have change on hand. Let's say a nice grand total if you're going to loot them and take their money too. Because Beau would be so proud of you.
Hey, they tried to kill us. They don't need that anymore.
Among the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the house, you find it was 21 silver pieces among them, and you find 4 gold pieces among them. They're not all carrying big money. These rubies, these little rubies that you find, the ones that are intact, there's 2, I think, intact. You pick them up and you look at them, and they're very small. They don't look like much. For as much blood as they left behind on the bodies that did pop, it seems disproportionate. But they appear to be small rubies that were otherwise fitted with their armor.
Ste'yn will hand the ones she finds to Snow to put in the bag of holding.
Okay.
And I assume they look like the other rubies that we have come into contact with, other than being small.
Yes, just notably little. And at the top of the stairs, you can see Nora pokes her head around. She doesn't look any better than she did. In fact, she looks a little bit worse than she did earlier. She's definitely stifling a cough. She sees it's only the 2 of you and numerous Peace Watch corpses. Where are Viola and Beau?
Someone was approaching from outside, so they went off to try and find him. Figure out who it is. We stayed in here and finished off the last of these. It's safe now. At least from this threat. I qualified it.
Well, if you're not hurt. Wait, who did they go after? They went alone? I guess alone together.
They went together. I was surrounded by zombies. So was Snow. We couldn't exactly all go as a group, not that we want to leave you behind anyway.
It'd be fine. Well, Nina hasn't stopped panicking. I think she has something to say.
Let's go talk to her. I trust those two can handle
Over it.
what they're dealing with. If they need help, they can call.
And she'll bring you upstairs where Nina is still on Nora's bed, just shaking, still very pale, sweating, like she's terrified of what is downstairs. Outside, Beau, you are running towards this figure, and the closer you get, you just see more detail of his armor. You see more detail on the shield. It's a very large shield. It seems to be like half of his own body, and that stripe across it is just a single solid stripe of gemstone, of ruby gemstone. And he continues to stand there as you approach him. What are you doing?
He's gonna, he wants to get as close as he can to it to see if he can figure out who the guy is. So he's just gonna get up close to him.
And he doesn't move. He lets you approach. You don't recognize him. Not by appearance.
Who are you?
He doesn't smile. I'm smiling. You'd think there might be a smirk hiding underneath that very thick black beard. But it just ends up as a sullen line. I'm Yarrow Deepcleave. And you are?
What the hell kind of name is that? He said that loud. He's just...
He doesn't respond.
Why'd you send those things after us?
I've got a job to do.
Part of that job isn't figuring out the names of the people you're targeting. Seems sloppy.
I'm not asking your opinion on it.
You're just asking my name.
That's for you to share if you'd like. And if not, you don't have to.
So, are you just admitting defeat then? Having everything leave?
Do I look defeated to you?
You don't look beaten. Wait. Wait, I'm so tired.
Precisely.
Yes.
Yes.
No, that's not what he would have said. How do you think you won?
I'm still standing. I still get to finish my job. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about.
Well, while you're standing, he's gonna slash with his scimitar at his legs.
Roll to attack.
Alright.
Is Viola there yet?
Oh.
You're just trailing behind. You're getting closer as he is slashing out at this dwarven figure.
What are
it's-
the zombies doing?
That was a 12.
There are no more.
Oh,
a 12?
all the ones
Yeah.
that left just like disappeared?
They were killed. They were stopped by the Peace Watch that were also there.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. You strike at him, miss by a long shot. He looks at you. You're taller than he is, and yet you can still tell around him there is this presence. For what it's worth, you won't be alive much longer. So go on back to your friends. I was just here to look.
And why aren't we gonna... What do you mean?
I think I made myself perfectly clear. You won't be alive much longer.
You're the best that they have to send.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, so one of those 5 people your little friend Nina kept going on about.
The hell is Nina?
I don't know, maybe you should tell Rosita to keep her maids in check. She blabbered so easily.
Good. There's nothing to keep secret.
Were you on
At this point-
Cadence?
Me, no. No. I've been here. Came here from Dranfeld. I've done what I need to do. Now I'm here.
And how many of the people in your position are in the town right now? Since there's no need to keep secrets.
There isn't need. But you seem the type you might like to find out on your own.
That's why I'm asking you. To find out.
Then find out another way.
So it sounds like you're keeping secrets, which means you're worried.
I've never been worried a day in my life.
Insight check.
I give Ste'yn a run for her arrogance.
Turns out he was actually worried last week because they didn't have the trail mix that he liked at the store.
It was his favorite.
So it's
It happened once before in all his life.
So it's a 19 or 25.
You don't have to mark off your die. It is pure arrogance that bleeds off of him, and he doesn't make any sort of tick to show any kind of fear or concern around you. You should just turn around, go back to your friends. I wanted to see what you could do. And now, if I wasn't afraid before, I'm certainly not afraid now.
Well, if you're so confident, why don't you turn around, showing your back to me as you leave?
Against a true opponent, that'd be a fool's errand. And he turns around and starts walking away.
Sleight of hand.
What are you trying to sleight of hand?
Anything from him. I don't know what he's carrying. He's aiming for something that could be ideally useful.
Take your shield.
He's aiming for something. Yeah, he just without him seeing
Like
the
a man
shield.
The whole shield.
And then he just runs with it, holding it over his head so he can't reach it.
We're using Looney Tunes logic now.
No, ideally just something of value.
Sure. Go for
Or
it.
that would not necessarily value, but something that would be good.
Mhm.
Oh, that's not good. All right, that can be an 11 or a 10.
He turns. You go to reach for something. He turns back around. There is now a crossbow bolt, a crossbow in front of you that he has aimed.
Am I supposed to be worried about that? You'd be shooting with disadvantage.
You don't know. Maybe he's got the crossbow expertise.
Maybe. Maybe this
Viola
little,
there yet?
All
maybe
right.
this little sheet. Oh no, Viola's definitely there by now.
All right, so clever of you. Run along then.
When Viola comes up, she'll introduce herself and ask what his name is.
As he's
He
holding the
took- he-
crossbow to Beau's face.
Yeah.
Hi, Viola. How are you? What's your name? This is a common reaction to Beau, so I'm not worried.
He reintroduces himself to you, Viola. He says his name is Yarrow Deepcleave.
Beau chuckles.
What a dumb
Who do you
name.
work for? What's your qualm with us?
Well, at this point, you're just a nuisance. Have a good day. He turns back around.
Grease.
Hmm?
Beau is casting grease on him because he doesn't like it.
Fair enough.
So he
You
needs
don't
to
have
make
Death wish.
he needs to make a dex save.
So
Before he does that, give me 1 second.
If he doesn't slip in the grease, Viola's gonna trip him.
You want us to be a nuisance? Fine.
You want to see what we're
We'll
about?
be-
Here we go.
Challenge accepted.
Hive.
We can be petty.
As he turns around, you see him touch his shield. And you're casting, trying to trip him up, prepared to make a fool of him, as you guys love to try and do to my bad guys. And as the grease splays across the street, he is no longer standing there. At the house, you guys go back up with Nora to see Nina. Nora doesn't sit beside her, but she stands beside her. She looks very sympathetic for a moment. Well, now she looks very sympathetic as opposed to earlier. They were very concerned. Nina sees you two entering, and immediately she is babbling. Her voice is pleading. Please, whatever you're going to do, whatever you planned to do, please, look, don't kill me. Don't turn me into one of those things. Don't let me become one of those things. Please, don't let that happen. I didn't know that's what happens. Please don't let that happen to me, please.
Slow down. Talk us through this a bit more. What's the connection between what you saw outside the zombies and yourself? You might think it's very basic and that we're understanding it all perfectly, but I want you to spell it out for me.
I don't know. They're not. And she stops and she tries to calm
Deep
down,
breaths.
but she's still shaking. I don't know how it all works. I didn't know that kind of thing could happen. We just needed help. We just needed protection. Rosita is in charge of 5 of these other people, like I said, who help her have a wider view of everything in this area of the kingdom. And she wants to grow her influence for her goddess. They use these rubies. She has something, I don't know exactly how, but it's split between the 5 of them, and I don't know how it works.
Tell me more about this. What's something that's split between the 5 of them? You don't have to know how it works. Just tell me what you know. The more you tell me, the better outlook you're going to have.
Snow
If
puts
you
a
promise
hand
to
on her shoulder to try to help her be a little bit calmer.
If you promise to protect me, I'll tell you everything.
I promise you will walk out of this house. I cannot promise continued safety much beyond that because I have. We'll let you leave this house. And I will see what can be done after that. But if things are as bad as you say, and there could be more of those things, this situation gets more dire, I cannot guarantee your safety. I will not make a promise I can't keep.
Do your best if you manage to kill those things.
Oh, I took out a lot of them. You want to see the bodies downstairs?
No! If you're going to stop Rosita, you won't be able to do it as she is now. You'll have to target her helpers first. And it's not us, not the barmaids, not the bar lads. We're innocent. We just needed protection. I didn't do anything in Cadence. I didn't do anything around the city. It wasn't me. It wasn't any of us. It wasn't even Rosita herself. It was one of her rubies. One of her ruby followers. There's 5 of them. There's... Oh, she said, the ruby wing, the ruby mask, a sword, no. It was the ruby wing, the ruby shield, a sword, a quill, and a heart. But they're already here. They were scattered all over, and whatever she's planning to do, I think it's going to happen soon because she's gathered them all here for the festival. They're all here already. Each one of them has some kind of shard from her. And the only way that you're going... Yes.
Okay.
But the only way you're going to even be able to touch her, or any of them, you're going to have to find that shard. You're going to have to destroy it. But each one of those, they can be split countlessly. That's probably why there's so many of them down there that were changed. They all had something on them, some piece of one of the rubies, one of the ruby followers.
So each shard given by Rosita, each of the 5 big shards, could be split into countless other little shards.
Yes.
And so to destroy one of the rubies, the ruby wing, shield, whoever they are, we need to destroy all of their ruby pieces first.
No, just the main one. If you can get to their main one, I think it'll negate whatever little pieces they sent out.
Right. There are rubies on the armor of some of these zombies downstairs that popped or imploded, and that's what causes some of those to fall. Not too many of them downstairs. But do you know what all these rubies can do? These shards can do?
Not exactly, but I think it involves stealing and taking blood. She's always talking about blood.
Yes, I've gathered that. She seems to be quite a lot about blood. So many
I've stopped
people
drinking
here
wine
obsessed with
because of
wine.
that. I've never touched wine in the wild pike. Honestly, a part of me was afraid of what it might
Why-
actually be.
Have you seen her drink blood from a wine glass or something? What is the fear there?
No, just the color. It just scares me. But you should also know, she's very confident in what she can do, what she's already doing. Which is probably why she doesn't... She likes to keep people under her thumb. She wants people who are charismatic, big personalities, big influence, but not big enough to cross her. Crossing her is a death sentence. And I don't know where she keeps her own ruby. Whatever she used to break apart and give to the others. But she seems confident enough that even if her own ruby were broken, that she's got some other trick up her sleeve. Something, I don't know, something that protects her, or her connection to her goddess. There's something more. You can't just go up and fight her.
Thank you. Is there anything else you can tell us? Anything at all? You've been incredibly helpful so far. I am going to roll an insight check just to make sure she's telling us the truth.
Go for it.
That is a dirty 20.
She seems absolutely terrified, and she is telling you all of this as if it is part of the bargain to plead for her life. If you will keep her safe, she will tell you whatever you ask.
How does Rosita know what's going on everywhere? What are the means she uses? What's the magic behind it? Because if we're going to try and take her down so what happened to them doesn't happen to you, you need to be able to move without her knowing.
Did you take any of the trinkets that we were giving away the first night of the festival?
We might have a couple of them in a extra dimensional space.
Extra dimensional space?
Mhm.
I don't know if she can see that far. Just
Right.
don't hold them. Don't keep them on your person. Don't have them in a bag near you. Don't wear them. Don't stand near someone who has one.
As she can use them? The trinket or the person wearing it?
I don't know exactly how it works. Just keep yourself safe and just never say that thing's name.
There's
What
a
thing?
taboo on it.
Her goddess.
Oh, that thing. Okay.
It's like a selfishness. The more people talk about her, the more people say her name. It's like evoking a spell.
Sounds like a goddess who's not very confident in her worshippers.
Maybe.
Words have power, Ste'yn. You know this.
I do know this. But
That's all I
Alright.
really know.
so don't say the name and stay away from people with the trinkets, and if we have any trinkets ourselves. Does breaking them break the magic, or is it just any part of them having it on at all?
Breaking it probably helps,
Right.
but if
Do you have
you're
any-
not going to find all of them that we handed out. There's hundreds.
Do you have any trinkets or rubies?
She shakes her head.
Insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
15.
26.
She shakes her head, but you both note that she kind of drops her eyes for a moment before looking back at you guys. But she shakes her head no.
Do you mind if I search through possessions?
I didn't bring anything with me. Just the clothes on my back.
Your pockets.
She pulls her pockets out as much as she can. There's nothing additional in her pockets, but you definitely noted an uneasiness as you asked her that. On the other
No, it
as
will go better for you if she can't track you either. You're only putting yourself in danger.
I can't get rid of mine.
Why not?
She slowly turns around, and she's wearing a fairly loose dress. The collar still comes up. There's a corset and all of that. But she kind of starts to pull back the back neck hem. She pulls it back, and the fabric lowers, and you can see between her shoulder blades in the center of her back, as if stitched into her skin, you see like the edge of a surgery line, a scar, and you can see a small ruby in her back.
Oh, Nina.
We'll just cut it out of her.
With that fun little revelation, I think that's where we are going to pause for tonight's session. So thank you from all of us here at Tales from the Catacombs. Catch up and recapture your favorite moments by subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you journeying with us to bring clean content to the world of tabletop RPGs. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. Make sure you leave a comment. It helps the algorithms, and you can answer today's question on our video or any of the videos, asking you, who would you count on to help you in a pinch? Honestly, I don't think my answer has changed from 5 hours ago. Maybe a Beau Ste'yn tag team, because that was, for pure annihilation.
Come
But
with me, and you'll be in a world of pure annihilation.
you just hold on to inspiration for next time round? But a particularly huge thanks to my players, whose links are in the description below. Please take a moment to follow these tremendous people and their exciting endeavors. David, sassy Beau David, who plays Beau. Never a dull moment, never allowing my evil people to actually be evil. Catherine, who, the sweetest murder machine you've probably ever met, who plays Ste'yn. Kassie, who still is not taking damage. Kassie, who got away with very little damage this time round, so I don't want to hear any more, it's going to be over 20 from her, who plays Viola. And Josh, who heals all of us when they run into the fray. Thank you, Josh. Who plays Snow and disappears under his cloak. Peekaboo. I'm Brenna. I'm your storyteller for this adventure, and we will see you back here next time after our summer break of DM one-shot fun. Safe travels until we meet again.